Hello everyone, and welcome to the video for Unit 8, Day 8. And in today's lesson, we are going to be practicing writing equations, the same kind of thing that we did last Thursday, just to get a little bit more practice. And today's video is dedicated to, writing in right now, Michael. Hey Michael. All right. First, I want to talk about the difference between expressions and equations. Okay? So for an expression, an example of an expression is something like x plus 5, or something like 2x minus 4. And what I want you to remember about expressions is, go ahead and put a bullet point right here, they have no equal sign. So no equal sign, and in an expression you have a variable, but you can't solve for what the variable is. You don't know what the variable is. So we'll write can't solve for variable. Now, with an equation, an example of an equation might be x plus 5 equals 7, or something like 2x minus 4 equals 6. And so with an equation, go ahead and put a bullet sign, always has an equal sign, and you can solve for the variable. Okay, so now let's practice writing some equations. First, let's read our situation. In a basketball game, Jamilan scored X points, and David scored 5 fewer points than Jamilan. David scored 12 points. So the first thing that we want to think about when we're writing an equation with a variable is, what does the variable represent? So what does X represent? Well, we'll go back into the text and reread the part. Jamilan scored X points. So we know that X represents the number of points that Jamilan scored. The number of points Jamilan scored. Okay? And now we can start to put together our equation. So if Jamilan scored X points and David scored 5 fewer points than Jamilan, and we know how many points that David scored. So I know that David scored altogether 12 points, and that it was 5 fewer than Jamilan. And we know that X represents the number of points that Jamilan scored. So we'll have Jamilan's points, which is X, and 5 fewer. I think to myself, in math, how do I represent something that's 5 fewer? I'm subtracting 5. So then it's X minus 5 equals 12. Right? The number of points that Jamilan scored, 5 fewer than that, and that equals the number of points that David scored, and we know that David scored 12 points. So my equation is X minus 5 equals 12. And since it's an equation, I can solve for what this value, this variable, has to be. So X minus 5 equals 12. And I think to myself, right, what value, what number minus 5 would give me 12? Well, I can count it out. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So it would have to be 17 minus 5 would give me 12, right? Because if I did 17 minus 5, that would equal 12. And I have a true statement of 12 would also be equal to 12. So x is equal to 12, or Jamilan scored 12 points. Okay, now I'm going to get you started on the bottom part of the page, and you're going to finish it. Samantha ate Y pieces of candy, and Jennifer ate 16 pieces of candy, which was twice as much as Samantha. So what does Y represent? Well, we look back at the text. Samantha ate Y pieces of candy, so it equals the number of candies dot dot dot, because I want you to finish the rest of that sentence. It equals the number of candies that what? And then for the equation, I'm going to have you fill that out, but the hint that I'm going to give you is remember that twice something is the same thing as 2 times something. Twice something means 2 times something. Okay? So with that hint, you can finish the rest of this page and then continue to practice writing equations on page 5. So finish page 4 and then move on to page 5. And with that, good luck.